It's 100% official as we watch this pay-per-view live. It appears that after John Cena got pinned, CM Punk was declared the new at least undisputed WWE champion. And even though Cena's leg was on the rope, that didn't stop that call being made. Triple H hasn't realised what's gone on. But then, out of nowhere, shockingly, we saw the return of Kevin Nash, the man known as Diesel, as he used that clothesline and took Punk out. That led to what we all said was going to happen 5 hours ago. Del Rio cashed in. He is the new WWE champion, and the pay-per-view's over.
Well, I'm not going to lie about it. This match was nowhere near as good as the Money in the Bank one, but again, how do you top the Money in the Bank match? Crazy finish. I suppose it would have been too good to be true if it was just a clean... Well, it wasn't a clean Punk win, but Cena had his foot on the ropes. But if Punk was to walk out with the belt, I'm sure a lot of people would have been happy, but a bit too on the safe side. They had to do something a little bit on the crazy side. We did say Del Rio was the man to watch tonight earlier on, and no doubt he didn't let the side down, as after interference, like you say, from, of all people, Diesel. You know, Trips is driving things these days, so expect to see some crazy stuff like that a lot more often, I'm sure. A good thing or a bad thing? I don't know if we needed Nash back to do something like that on a night like this, but he did, and that left us with Del Rio getting his chance to cash in his Money in the Bank and become the new champion. I thought it was a nice finish. I'm going to say I thought it was a decent finish, a little bit different, you know. You can't knock it, I'm sure.
I think we knew this one was going to happen because, you know, a lot of people called Del Rio cashing, but people were asking, well, who's he going to cash in on? That question has been answered. It doesn't matter that Punk is a heel. Del Rio took that opportunity, came out with a confused Triple H standing there, not knowing what the hell was going on. Now, is Kevin Nash going to get involved with Triple H? Are we looking at Nash, Diesel v Triple H? Of course, he came back a long time ago and has been doing stuff with the company, but he hasn't been present on TV. I know one of the factors that kept Nash off before was that he wouldn't dye his hair. Well, he's done that this time, so Vince has got his wish. But what a strange overall finish that was, because, you know, again, we also knew that there was going to be that crazy, almost like the Mania finish that had Miz and Cena ending up having that decision reversed. That same thing has gone on here. I'm shocked because I kind of saw Diesel appearing there and thought, what in the name of God is happening here? But a clothesline took out Punk. Of course, as we said, this is all based now on a leg on a rope, so officially Cena didn't really job here. This was the case of Cena actually being well, the wrong decision was made by the special guest referee, and I think questions are going to have to be asked as to exactly what went on with him. Why was Nash, Diesel there, and of course what will now become of CM Punk and his push? Will his storyline continue? It's all gotten very interesting.
It has, just like that, a click of a finger. Well, you know, I think for the most part, it's probably good to have Punk removed from the title picture. I don't think, you know, he definitely doesn't need it. He doesn't need to have that belt right now. Somebody like Del Rio will definitely benefit from having it. And Cena, as you know, has had it so many times at this stage, it doesn't matter if he has or doesn't have it. Nash, on the other hand, you know, the strangest thing again ever. I don't know what the plan is going forward with this. Will we see more of Stephanie? I don't know if Triple H and Nash will align, because I don't think Trips looked too impressed and he made his way back down to the ring. Maybe it's some sort of plan to align them all as one in some sort of crazy ass faction that's going to run riot, which would be terrific.
Oh yeah,
long needed, I think. Especially something about Nash in that setting kind of makes it interesting, just like that. But yeah, Cena's out of the title picture, or sorry, Punk's out of the title picture, I'm sure, going forward. For anything, Cena will probably want some answers tomorrow night. Trips will have a lot of explaining to do, and maybe going forward, Del Rio and Cena might be a safe bet for some sort of angle. Where that leaves Punk, God knows at this stage. But yeah, I mean, it was a nice little ending and sets up some good storylines going forward.
Talk of having 2 or 3 of those people, like a Stephanie, like a Triple H, a Diesel, involved again, to me is gold. That's what I want to see, because it feels like I haven't seen that in a while. I know it all has gone on before. What haven't they done? But in this case, it would be a great place for Nash. Interesting to see him kind of, I think, rejuvenated, because he spent so long in that TNA deal with the grey hair, and they kind of didn't protect him. They put him in matches and he kind of stumbled around the place, but he's a guy who was a former WWF champion. They're not just going to, you know, shit on his legacy is the only way I can put it, because, you know, they put the belt on him before. He was a big part of that 90s period, at least maybe the mid 90s period, and he could easily slot back into big enough storylines again. Of course, those guys real life friends as well, and I'm sure they've been in communication since he's been gone and when he's been back. So I know they can do good stuff. I know they can build angles. Just a very strange appearance though, to have him just come on in the middle of that match. Now, just to talk to you in the chat room, keep your comments coming in. We've got a lot of viewers coming in who I think have been shocked by this. Let us know what you think, and by all means follow us on the channel. We talk about the live pay-per-views, and also youtube.com/TheWrestleDope is where you'll find a lot of our videos. So hi to Machine, who says Brian is waiting till Mania, and also talking about Nash v Punk ? Discuss.
Well, I don't know how quickly Nash is, or if he will at all even get back into the ring, to be honest with you. But you know what, I think, love him or hate him, the guy is over for the most part. For some reason, when it comes to WWE, maybe it's a nostalgia thing with the Diesel gimmick. I don't know really, although he was a champ, WWE champion at once, or WWF champion at one time, so you know, a bit of credit I suppose. He is a smart guy, and you know, his association with Trips over the years will definitely get him over more so, especially getting back to the nostalgia side of thing. He's running TNA on the other hand, you know, we don't really care too much for any of that stuff. But you know, I mean, you heard the pop of the Rumble when he came back in January out of nowhere, although there was a little bit of speculation. He went, as you said, dyed his hair, took advantage of that Just for Men deal that they had going on there with the E, got his shit together, got out of TNA as quick as he could. Maybe it's the best thing that's happened for him. Obviously it's the best thing that's happened for him in a long time. Will he get back in the ring? I don't know. That's the big question. I think people will jump to conclusions straight away and set up a Punk Nash feud. No doubt there will be some interaction with them going forward, as he did really put the beat down on old Punk.
Of course, let's not forget about Del Rio, who's come out of this as the new WWE champion. Now, I will say, as I've mentioned before, that we've been saying that all night. A lot of people in the chat room were saying that he was going to cash in. I think this is probably the quickest cash in for a guy who's got a Money in the Bank ever. Usually they draw it out for months, but in this case, Del Rio comes out of it with the belt. But remember, next night on Raw could be an entirely different situation. Of course, not forgetting as well, what a complicated finish, because there's so many different elements here. Of course, Cena's leg was on the rope when that count was made, so officially it shouldn't have gone ahead as it did. And now a lot of interesting comments in the chat room, lots of viewers joining us here tonight. I think people very shocked about that. Maury says Scott Hall for Raw, and that's probably more of a possibility now than ever. Pain Machine, is Nash really booking WWE now? Foreman's Carry, he hasn't even been there a year. What else? We've got so many people coming in. Sharpshooter, you're right, Kane cashed it in on the same night. I'm wrong there. SP103, good God, worst WWE ending in a long time.
Yeah, some people refer to it there as a TNA ending, and you know, you can see why. But I think the question here is, you know, it's rare you see WWE under Vince's control, let's just put it that way for a sec, finish a pay-per-view or even try a finish like that with somebody like a Nash. You know, you'll get your little guest spot on a Rumble if you're an RVD and you know you're gone from the company for whatever amount of time, and you come back, you get your pop, and you're gone. Diesel or Nash in the same sense with Rumble, even though he signed his Legends contract and all that, same kind of deal. You didn't think you're going to see much else of him. Now, there has been rumblings of Trips being keen on bringing back people that have the nostalgia factor from the Attitude Era from the 90s, who, you know, I won't say Nash was a big draw, but were familiar names going forward. I don't know if it's the best of ideas, I will say. You know, do they need it? I don't think so. I think, if anything, it's without them knowing, it's hitting TNA territory before you know it, you know? I don't think that's something...
Well, it is, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think it's something they need to do or should do, but the thing about the E is when they do it, sometimes they can do it and make it interesting, unlike TNA, so...
Yeah, so much in the way of mixed reaction to this. Some people love it, some hate it. We've got Dext504, like the ending, Verdna 6, Cena with the foot on the rope, then Punk losing because of Nash, with ADR cashing in, and I'm guessing Ray will win tomorrow night on Raw. You know, it's true. FBD 7997, Triple H was punishing Cena for hitting John Laurinaitis and for Punk walking out of Money in the Bank with the belt, and he didn't want Punk as champ, so he had Nash come take him out. Now, I'd love to see some stuff like that, but as someone else says here, I think it's CBT1, overbooked, but I liked it. It was busy and there were swerves. Raw GM says the formula that WWE have doesn't work. On a Plane says Ray deserves to be champion. This is another one that, you know, we've already forgotten the match that went before this. It was a long, I think it started at about maybe quarter past the last hour. What was the match like? The actual Punk v Cena match, did that deliver? I think we're all going to just remember this strange finish now. I think it was good, but I've forgotten it because the finish...
Yeah, no, well, I mean, the match it wasn't the worst. It wasn't as good as the Money in the Bank one, I will say, but it wasn't actually too bad. As far as Cena matches go, it wasn't too bad. I was paying attention, believe it or not, to that one. But it wasn't too bad. The finish, though, as you said, a strange one. Definitely a strange one.
If we were to mark that one out of 5, match-wise, like I say, I've already forgotten it. So it almost, a finish like that, sometimes it undoes the work. For me anyway, because all I remember now is just that stuff that went on in the end. And... there's so many little things that happened. It's kind of a bit, somebody said it best, overbooked. Tony World Order, we were asking for you earlier on. How are you? It's good to have you in. Of course, X Will Shadow, pay-per-view, best of show was definitely the Orton v Christian. Bite Mike, hello to you. I wonder what your thoughts on that shocking finish. Judas Fix, like the Bryan v Barrett match. Phil says, I think that finish points to a need for a tweak in the Money in the Bank rules. Maybe.
Yeah, well, you know, since Triple H has, you know, taken over, let's put it that way, we've seen some nice changes, and week on week there's something new and something to get excited about, and it has people talking for the most part. So if this trend continues, it's only a good thing. Having people like Nash, even if it is Nash, just do what he did, you know, it gets people talking. No matter what way you look at it, good, bad or indifferent, it's got people talking. It's got the chat room buzzing. No doubt Twitter's probably about to explode. And tomorrow I'm sure everyone will want to know what Nash's deal is. Again, with Stephanie, you know, we've seen her come back tonight, a face we haven't seen in a long time. Long overdue in my opinion. I think you felt the same way.
Yeah. So,
I mean, with that alone, you've got a lot of people there to set up some serious storylines for the next couple of weeks if it's handled correctly, and no doubt I'm sure it will be.
Rey Mysterio, I think, and a good name there, I think they'll reverse the decision due to the foot on the rope, therefore Del Rio's match didn't count, because if that's the case, we've got 3 WWE champions in some ways.
Yeah, well, I think Del Rio's one will probably stand for whatever reason. Be it that it was not his fault that he cashed the Money in the Bank in, or for whatever. I think it'll be fairly legit come tomorrow night that he will be officially recognised as champ.
Yeah. Actually, Mr. Incredible says he was paid off by Alberto. That could be one take on it. Was it Del Rio who is going to now have him? Is that the reason why Brodus Clay has been off TV? Everything is a jigsaw puzzle, and it finally comes together. Brodus Clay off TV since Mania, and I think that you're bang on there. Kevin Nash, the new enforcer for Del Rio, so good call there. I think that's definitely a good call. Kobe 1011, you know how sick the Nash Punk feud is going to be. Pain Machine, I think Nash attacked Punk because Punk talked trash about Triple H and Steph. SP, this was terrible. If ex-Nexus guys cost Punk the belt, that would make sense. This doesn't. Kobe, is this official? Well, if you're talking about us, we're not official, but thanks for putting us over by asking that if you were. FBD, Doink paid off Nash, and NB Socks, I think Kevin Nash is going to wait. He's going to, yeah, Del Rio's bodyguard. I think that's probably... Kobe says wait, Nash is a heel. I mean, he did attack Punk, didn't he?
Yeah. Whoever called that Nash being a bodyguard or some sort of enforcer to Del Rio was probably closest. I'd imagine that's probably a good call, really.
Well, we have you all in here just to let you all know. youtube.com/TheWrestleDope, all one word. If you hit that, you'll find other videos such as interviews and various other things. And also, this is our live channel, and you'll find us here for pay-per-views. So anytime you're in checking out a pay-per-view, we've been here all night, and suddenly everyone goes crazy, I think, for that ending and has joined us in here. So we'll stay on a little bit more and get some of your thoughts. I think we might leave the Skype mic, but come next week though, and we'll definitely be full on back and probably talking more about Nash. But it's actually 4:10 in the morning here, 4:07 a.m. So we'll maybe not do it this week, but next week for sure. We want to talk to you about I believe Bike Mike was at Money in the Bank.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to call in. Well, we didn't get around to the Skype stuff tonight, unfortunately, but yeah, we'll definitely like to hear from you. Definitely.
Yeah, we'll do that. Raw GM, way to stay up. Yavio Laris, I think Vince is behind all of this. X-Will, this will be my last pay-per-view with you guys for a while. We'll talk to you next time. Hopefully we're still there doing it, if you like, talking about these shows next time you're back. 91, Nash is booking WWE like he booked WCW. Do you think Nash has creative control? It's a good question.
I would imagine a certain amount. Yeah. Well, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know.
So yeah. I guess wrapping up, thoughts on SummerSlam overall. What did we think of this show? It's all been overshadowed by that ending there, and it's kind of tricky to think back.
Let's do a quick rundown. Six-man
Opens
tag,
the show. Average.
Yeah, it did what it needed to do. Get everybody on the show, and yeah, I mean, it was what it was.
Nothing special. You could see it on any TV show. CeeLo Green performance, could have done without it. Guy from Tool, could have done without that bit. I suppose he was playing Star Spangled Banner, so marks for that. Kelly taking on Beth Phoenix. Surprise standout. Good female match, and something certainly I've been wanting to see for a while. I was happy with that one.
Yeah, very strong. Fair play to Kelly for stepping it up tonight.
Mark Henry, Sheamus.
Another solid effort, yeah, from both. Nice finish too. Yeah,
definitely. Snoop Dogg, Z, Vince is trying. I've missed your message there. Apologies. Chat is moving quite quickly. I'll try and get your message. Vince is trying to set up Triple H. Well, Hopefully. Oh, by the way, Jimmy Hart as well. We kind of missed that.
Yeah, we did miss that. Yeah.
Little Jimmy, or Truth.
Oh, right, very good. Now I get it. I
So
was wondering at the time.
he was probably glad of that. The room is in slow mode at the moment. CBT1, I give the E props for having anyone from Tool. I suppose you're right there. Fireman's carry, edge appearance made no sense. And Bike Mike, Bet Phoenix will save the Divas division. Raw GM mentioning that great crowd tonight. And Seamana baby, thanks for the show tonight. See you all on the night of champions. I think that's a good point for us to wrap up.
Yeah.
On YouTube as well. Overall, SummerSlam out of 5. I would say, yeah, again, 3.5. I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, I think 3.5 is always the safe bet. I think what I was going to say quickly, I've lost track with all the comments. Oh yeah, I mean, do come and check us out every week. We have a weekly show as well as the pay-per-view shows as well. Live stream and here, or
yeah,
live stream.
YouTube, if you never watch a video, if you just subscribe, that'd be great. youtube.com/TheWrestleDope. X-Will is actually shipping off to the Navy basic training. Good luck to you in that, and certainly we hope to be here next time you're back with us. You can always check out the YouTube and keep up to date. Jammin' 85,000, good days for WWE, I think. And it is, isn't it? Because, I mean, Money in the Bank to this, people are talking about what they're doing, and that's the most important thing. Scout Puppy, thanks for putting it up. I listened to you the whole time instead of the commentators. Big props to you for that. Ramus, not happy with the slow mode. Die 54321, it's been a while, how are you? Traditional Die 54321 commentary there. Fireman, good job. And who's that? Orby Times, I can't wait to see Punk's reaction tomorrow. I love seeing all these new usernames. Please click follow and we might get close to the followers we used to have. We had an incredible amount, 340 followers. In terms, it's really not that much, but
we were doing A-OK, peeps, until Stamford came and put the guillotine to our old channel, unfortunately. But they can't kill a good thing. And we are back on our first night again on Justin.tv. So thanks for sticking with us if you have all night. And if you're a newcomer, don't be shy. Do come back and say hello again.